जय राधा माधवा, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवर धारी, जय गिरिवर धारी, जय यशोदानंद ना, जय व्रजजन रंजना, जय यशोदानंदना, जय व्रजजन रंजना, जय यशोदानंदना, जय व्रजजन रंजना, जय यशोदानंदना, जय व्रजजन रंजना, यमुना तिरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय यमुना तिरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय यमुना तिरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय यमुना तिरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जगन्नाथ बलेश्वर माई की जय, राधा माधव की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंच तत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय। पिता गौर प्रेम हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhu is Matagis. Welcome all of you for this Bhagavatam session today, and thank you for keeping up the appointment with Krishna. Today is the new month of May, right? 1st May 2024. So, by mercy of Guru, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, I have been given the opportunity to glorify the Lord with the verse 4, 4th canto, 1st chapter, 15th verse. So I thank Honorable Prabhu from Iskcon Seshadripuram for giving this opportunity. Hare Krishna. So let us start. This is 4:115. Atre patnyanasuyatri Jagye suyashasa sutan Dattam durvasasam somam Atmesha brahma sambhavan Atre patnyanasuyatri Jagye suyashasa sutan Dattam durvasasam somam Atmesha brahma sambhavan Atre patni anasuyatri Jagye suyashasa sutan Dattam durvasasam somam Atmesha brahma sambhavan. Anybody would like to recite?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji,
Yes.
go ahead.
No, Mataji, it's okay. You carry on. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Atre patryanasuyatri jagне suyashasa sutan dattam durvasasam soma atmesha brahma sambhavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Archana Mata, you can also recite, no problem.
Yeah. Atre patyanusūya strī jajñe sūyashasa shutan dattam durvasa sam somam atmesha brahma sambhavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I try?
Yes, Mata, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Atre patnyanasuyatrin jajne suyasha sahasutan dattam durvasasam somam atmesha brahma sambhavan. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I try?
Okay, go ahead, Mata, please.
Atre patnyanusūya suyatrin jajne suyashasa sutan dattam durvasasam somam atmesha brahma sambhavan.
Thank you. Go to the word-to-word meaning now, synonyms. Atre of Atri Muni, Patni, wife, Anasuya, named Anasuya, Treen, three, Jagye, boar, Suyashasaha, very famous, Sutan, sons, Dattam, Dattatreya, Durvasasam, Durvasa, Somam, Soma, the moon god, Atma, the super soul, Isha, Lord Shiva, Brahma, Lord Brahma, Sambhavan, incarnations of. Translation and purport is by Divine Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation. Anasuya, the wife of Atri Muni, gave birth to three very famous sons, Soma, Dattatreya, and Durvasa, who were partial representations of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. Soma was a partial representation of Lord Brahma. Dattatreya was a partial representation of Lord Vishnu, and Durvasa was a partial representation of Lord Shiva. Purport by Divine Prabhupada ki jai. It's a long purport. Please hear the purport. We'll discuss it later on. Purport by Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, we find the words Atma, Isha, Brahma, Sambhavan. Atma means the super soul or Vishnu. Isha means Lord Shiva. And Brahma means the four-headed Lord Brahma. The three sons born of Anasuya, Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma, were born as partial representations of these three demigods. Atma is not in the category of the demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. Therefore, he is described as Vivinnamsha Bhutana. The super soul Vishnu is the seed-giving father of all living entities, including Brahma and Lord Shiva. Another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way. The principle, who is the super soul in every Atma, or one may say the soul of everyone, became manifested as Dattatreya because the Varamsha, part and parcel, is used here. In Bhagavad Gita, the individual souls are also described as parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or super soul. So why not accept that Dattatreya was one of those parts? Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are also described here as parts. So why not accept all of them as ordinary individual souls? The answer is that the manifestations of Vishnu and those of the ordinary living entities are certainly all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. and no one is equal to him. But among the parts and parcels, there are different categories. In the Varaha Puran, it is nicely explained that some of the parts are Swaamsha and some are Vibhinamsha. Vibhinamsha parts are called Jivas, and Swaamsha parts are in the Vishnu category. In the Jiva category, the Vibhinamsha parts and parcels, there are also gradations. That is explained in the Vishnu Puran, where it is clearly stated that the individual parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord are subject to being covered by the external energy called illusion or Maya. Such individual parts and parcels who can travel to any part of the Lord's creation are called Sarvagata and are suffering the pangs of material existence. They are proportionately freed from the coverings of ignorance under the material existence according to different levels of work and under different influences of the modes of material nature. For example, the sufferings of jivas situated in the mode of goodness are less than those of jivas situated in the mode of ignorance. Pure Krishna consciousness, however, is the birthright of all living entities because every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The consciousness of the Lord is also in the part and parcel. And according to the proportion to which that consciousness is cleared of material dirt, living entities are differently situated. In the Vedanta Sutra, the living entities of different gradations are compared to candles or lamps with different candle power. For example, some electric bulbs have the power of 1000 candles, some have the power of 500 candles, some the power of 100 candles, some 50 candles, etc. But all electric bulbs have light. Light is present in every bulb, but the gradations of light are different. Similarly, there are gradations of Brahman. The Vishnu Swamsha expansions of Supreme Lord in different Vishnu forms are like lamps. Lord Shiva is also like a lamp, and the supreme candle power, or the 100% light, is Krishna. The Vishnu Tattva has 94%. The Shiva Tattva has 84%, and Lord Brahma has 78%. And the living entities are also like Brahma, but in the conditioned state, their power is still more dim. There are gradations of Brahman, and no one can deny this fact. Therefore, the words Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan indicate that Dattatreya was directly part and parcel of Vishnu, whereas Durvasa and Soma were parts and parcels of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Jnanadvara Andasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadati Subhadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishaka Vikamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanjan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mavachi Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharaswadamna Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatvagādīn Prāṇā Namo Bhagavate Purushāya Tubhyam Mukam Karotu Vācā Pangam Vediviram Lakkhapātam Mōdapāṁ Vinatājam Namo Vishnu 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 Mahavishnu Samudravani Namo Vishnu 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 Bhaktivedanta Nirush Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji, welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam session. So this chapter, that is the fourth canto, first chapter, is entitled Genealogical Table of the Daughters of Manu. Manu is Swayambhu Manu. So it is like a family tree, right? See the first verse, purport of this chapter, in the first verse, the purport, Prabhupada says, in this fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 31 chapters. And all these chapters describe the secondary creation by Brahma and the Manus. So you might think, what is the secondary creation? So actually, Bhagavatam has 10 subjects. If you go to the 12th canto, 7th chapter, 9th verse, it's very beautifully given there. So the 10 subjects of a great Purana are described in the second canto of Bhagavatam, 2.10.1. Shri Shukavacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Uttayah Manmantare Shanu Katha Nirodho Muktirashrayah. So Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following. He says, number one, the creation of the universe. That is the initial first creation. Then sub-creation. That's what is the secondary creation. Sub-creation. Then planetary systems. Protection by the Lord. The creative impetus. The change of Manus. The science of God. Returning home back to Godhead. Liberation and the Samambonam. These are the 10 subject matters which is given. In this, that's what he's talking about. So that is in this chapter, the 31 chapters, and all the chapters describe this secondary creation. That is initial creation, the secondary creation by Brahma and the Manus. See, the Supreme Lord himself does the real creation by agitating his material energy. We saw, no, like Karanadukashaya Vishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya, like that. And then by his order, Brahma, the first living creature in the universe, he attempts to create the different planetary systems and their inhabitants, expanding the population through his progeny, like Manu and other progenitors of living entities, who work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. So in this first chapter of this fourth canto, there are descriptions of 3 daughters of Swayambhu Manu and their descendants. The next 6 chapters describe the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it is spoiled. Thereafter, the activities of Maharaj Dhruva are described in 5 chapters. Then in 11 chapters, the activities of King Prithu are described. And the next 8 chapters are devoted to the activities of the Pracheta kings. So as it is described in this first verse of this chapter, Swayambhu Manu had 3 daughters named Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. And of these 3 daughters, one daughter, Devahuti, we already saw in the previous chapters, right? Already been described. But Kadam Muni's wife and their son, Kapil Muni, wonderful devotional service details have been very beautifully given. So in this chapter, the descendants of the first daughter, Akuti, will be specifically described. Now, Swayambhu Manu, who was he? He was the son of Brahma. See, Brahma had many other sons, but Manu's name is specifically mentioned first because he was a great devotee of the Lord. In this word, there is also the word Cha, indicating that besides the 3 daughters mentioned, Swayambhu Manu also had 2 sons. See, in first canto, 3rd chapter, 12th verse, Tata Saptama Akotyam Ucheryagyo Abhayajaya Jayata Sayamadai Suraganair Apasvayambhuvantaram. He says, the 7th incarnation was Yajna, the son of Prajapati Ruchi, and his wife Akuti. So he controlled the period during the reign of Swayambhu Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. This is all given in the purport of this first verse. See, the administrative posts occupied by the demigods for maintaining the regulations of the middle world, as given by the Lord, they are offered to the highly elevated pious living beings. Okay. So when there is a scarcity, now everybody is given the title and everything is the demigods are given. But when there is a scarcity of such pious living beings, the Lord incarnates himself as Brahma, Prajapati, Indra, and takes up the charge. So during this period of Swayambhu Manu, the current period is known as Vaivaswata Manu. There was no suitable living being who could occupy the post of Indra, the king of Indraloka, heaven planet, right? So what happened? The Lord himself at that time became Indra. So assisted by his own sons like Yama and other demigods, the Lord Yajna ruled the administration of the universal affairs. See, all the great personalities who increased the population in the beginning of the creation, they are called Prajapatis. Now, Brahma is also known as Prajapati, as per some of his later sons also. Now, Swayambhu Manu is also known as Prajapati, as is Daksha, another son of Brahma. Now, Swayambhu Manu had 3 daughters, we saw, right? Then Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. Now, Prajapati Ruchi married Akuti, and definitely Devati saw married Kadamuni. So Prajapati Ruchi married Akuti, and Daksha married Prasuti. So these couples and their children produced immense numbers of children to populate the entire universe. See, we are all related to Krishna, for we are all his sons and daughters. See, a son may have a disagreement with his father, but it is not possible for him to break that relation. See, in the course of his life, he will be asked, who is he? And he will have to reply, I am the son of so and so. So that relation cannot be broken. We are all sons of God. And that relationship with Supreme Lord is eternal. But we have simply forgotten. Krishna is all powerful, all famous, all wealthy, all beautiful, all knowledgeable, and is full of realization as well. The six opulences, right? So although we are friends of such a great personality, we have forgotten it. If a rich man's son forgets his father and he leaves home and becomes mad, he may lie on the street to go to sleep, or he may beg money for food. But all of this is due to for what? Because of his forgetfulness of his father. And if someone gives him the information that he's simply suffering because he has left his father's home, and that his father is a very wealthy man and owner of a very vast property, and he said his father is anxious to have him return. So in this material world, we are always suffering under the threefold miseries. Miseries arising from the body and mind, miseries arising from other living entities, and from natural calamities. So being covered by illusion, no, by the modes of material nature, we do not take account of these miseries. We feel we are happy only, although we are suffering. So we should always know that in the material world, we are undergoing so much suffering. One who has sufficiently developed consciousness, who is intelligent, and inquires why he is suffering. I do not want miseries. Why am I suffering? When this question arises, there is a chance to become Krishna conscious. So as soon as we surrender ourselves to Krishna, Krishna welcomes us very, very cordially, very warmly. He welcomes us. It is just like a lost child who returns to his father and says, my dear father, due to some misunderstanding, I left your protection, but I suffered. Now I return to you. The father, what the father will do? He say, no, get out. No. Father embraces his son and says, my dear boy, come on. I was so anxious for you. All the days you were gone, I was very anxious. And now I am so happy you have come back. See, the father is so kind. We are in the same position. We have to surrender to Krishna. And it is not very difficult. See, when the son surrenders to the father, is it a very difficult job? It is very natural. And the father is always waiting to receive the son. There is no question of insult or ego, nothing. If we bow down to before our Supreme Father and touch his feet, there is no harm for us, nor is it difficult. It is glorious for us. So why should we not? Correct. By surrendering to Krishna, we come immediately under his protection and are relieved of all miseries. And this is validated by all the scriptures. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Ma shuchaha. 18.6 is Bhagavad Gita says. So when we throw ourselves at the feet of Krishna, we come under his protection. And from that time on, there is no fear for us. When children are under the protection of their parents, no, they are fearless because they know their parents will not let them be harmed. Mameva ye prapadyante. Krishna promises that those who surrender to him have no cause for fear. So if we surrender unto Krishna, if surrender to Krishna is such an easy thing, then why don't people surrender? Instead, there are many who are challenging the very existence of Krishna, claiming that nature and science are everything and God is nothing. So so-called advancement of civilization in knowledge means the populace is becoming more mad. So instead of being cursed or instead of being cured, right? The disease is being increased. See, those days, the olden days, right? When the Vedic systems, everything was there. Hardly any doctors, very few. Not many medicines also. And hospitals, maybe no hospitals itself. Very, very less. Nothing. Now, there are too many information of healthy food, so many this calories, this diet, so many things are going on. So if you are having healthy food in this manner, then everybody should be healthy. There should not be hospitals at all. But what is happening? Hospitals are increasing. So there's too much confusion, right? This is good, this is not good. So totally people don't know what to eat now, what not to eat. So instead of being cured, disease is being increased. People don't care for Krishna, but they care for nature. And it is nature's business to give kicks in the form of the threefold miseries. She's always administering these kicks 24 hours a day, whether we want it or not. However, we have become so accustomed to being kicked that we think it is all right and consider it to be the ordinary course of things. We have become very proud of our education, but we tell material nature. Thank you very much for kicking me. Now please continue. See this sad state of affairs in Kali Yuga. So thereby we are deluded, no? We think that we have even conquered material nature. But how this is so? Nature is still inflicting on us miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Has anyone solved these problems? Then what advancement have we really made in knowledge and civilization? We are under the stringent rules of material nature. But still we are thinking we are conquered. This is called Maya. See, there may be some difficulty in surrendering to the Father of this body, for he has limited knowledge and power. But Krishna is not like an ordinary father. Krishna is unlimited and has full knowledge, full power, full wealth, full beauty, full name, and full renunciation. So should not we consider ourselves lucky to go to such a father and enjoy his property? Yet no one seems to care about this. And now everyone is making propaganda that there is no God. So why do people not seek Krishna? Answer is given in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 15. Namam dushkritino moodaha prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya paharta jnana asuram bhavamashitaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. In this way, the fools are categorized. See, the 4th verse of this chapter, Purport Prabhupada says, of the 2 children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and his name was Yajna, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. See, one of Lord Vishnu's name is Yajna, because he is the master of the Vedas. So the name Yajna comes from Yajusam Patihi, which means Lord of all sacrifices. In the Yajur Veda, there are different ritualistic prescriptions for performing yajnas. And the beneficiary of all such yajnas is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This is all given in the 5th verse of this chapter. Therefore, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yajnatar karmanaha. Karmanaha. One should act, but one should perform one's prescribed duties only for the sake of Yajna or Vishnu. And Prabhupada says, if one does not act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if one does not perform devotional service, then there will be reactions to all of one's activities. It does not matter if the reaction is good or bad. If our activities are not dovetailed with the desire of the Supreme Lord, or if we do not act in Krishna consciousness, then we shall be responsible for the results of all our activities. So we should be very careful. We should know. So there is always a reaction to every kind of action. But if actions are performed for yajna, for Supreme Lord Krishna, for his pleasure, there is no reaction. So if one acts for yajna or Supreme Lord Personality Godhead, one is not entangled in the material condition. Because it's mentioned in the Vedas that, and also in Bhagavad Gita, that Vedas and the Vedic rituals are all meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. See, from the very beginning, one should try to act in Krishna consciousness. And that will free one from the reactions of material activities. See, the purport of the 6th verse in the chapter 416, Prabhupada says, an ideal husband and wife are generally called Lakshmi Narayana to compare them to the Lord and the goddess of fortune. Because it is significant that Lakshmi Narayana are forever happy as husband and wife. A very nice statement Prabhupada gives in this purport. He says, a wife should always remain satisfied with her husband. And a husband should always remain satisfied with his wife. In the Chanakya Shloka, the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandita, it is said that if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. Everybody is wanting money, going off opulence, so many things, right? But if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, all material opulence is present and good children are born. See, generally, according to Vedic civilization, wife is trained to be satisfied in all conditions. And the husband, according to Vedic instruction, is required to please the wife with sufficient food, ornaments, and clothing. Then, if they are satisfied with their mutual dealings, good children are born. So, this way, the entire world can become peaceful. But unfortunately, in this age of Kali, there are no ideal husbands and no ideal wives. Therefore, unwanted children are produced, and there is no peace and prosperity in the present day world. So, in the 7th verse, the translation is given that 12 boys were born of Yajna and Dakshina. They were named Tosha, Pratosha, these 12 names were given. So during the time of Swayambhu Manu, these 12 sons all became demigods, collectively known as Tushitas. So Marichi became the head of the 7 rishis, and Yajna became the king of the demigods, Indra. And we saw that. Sure, we saw in the 15th verse, right? Swayambhu Manu, apart from the 3 daughters, he had 2 sons. They are Priyavrata and Uttanapada, and who became very powerful kings. And their sons and grandsons spread all over 3 worlds during that period. Uttanapada is Dhruva Maharaj, right? His son. The 10th verse, Swayambhu Manu handed over his very dear daughter Devavati to Kardama Muni. So this we have already spoken in the previous chapters, right? The 11th verse, it is said Swayambhu Manu handed over his daughter Prasuti to son of Brahma named Daksha. He was also one of the progenitors of the living entities. So the descendants of Daksha are spread throughout the 3 worlds. And the 12th verse, he says, you have already been informed about the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni. In the previous chapters we said. And all the 9 daughters were handed over to 9 different sages. And now you will be describing the descendants of those 9 daughters. So the 3rd canto has already described how Kardama Muni begot 9 daughters in Devavati, and how all the daughters of the later handed over to great sages like Marichi, Atri, Vashishta. Kardama Muni's daughter Kala, who was married to Marichi, gave birth to 2 children, whose names were Kashyapa and Purnima. So their descendants are also spread all over the world. And then the 14th verse, the previous verse before the one which we are going to discuss today. The translation it says, my dear Vidura, of the 2 sons, Kashyapa and Purnima begot 3 children, namely Viraja, Vishwaga, and Devakulya. Of these 3, Devakulya was the water which washed the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, and which later on transformed into Ganges of the heavenly planets. So after 2 sons, Kashyapa and Purnima's descendants are described right here. So an elaborate description of these descendants will be given in the 6th canto. So Prabhupada says it is also understood that Devakulya is the presiding deity of the river Ganges, which comes down from the heavenly planets to this planet, and is accepted to be sanctified because it touched the lotus feet of Supreme Personality Godhead, Hari. So we speak about Atri Muni, right? Atri Muni was a great Brahmana sage, and was one of the sons born of the mind of Brahmaji. So Brahmaji is so powerful that simply by thinking of a son, he can have it. So these sons are known as Manasaputras. So out of the 7 Manasaputras of Brahmaji, and out of the 7 great Brahmana sages, Atri was one of them. So in his family, the great Prachesas were also born. So Atri Muni had 2 Kshatriya sons who became kings. King Arthama is one of them. He is counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis. And Atri Muni's wife's name was known as Anasuya. See, the 6th incarnation in 1311, it said, the 6th incarnation of the Purusha was the son of the sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anasuya, who prayed for incarnation. He spoke on the subject of transcendence to Alarka, Prahlada, and others. So, it is said in the purport, the Lord incarnated himself as Dattatreya, the son of Atri, Rishi Atri, and Anasuya. The history of birth of Dattatreya as an incarnation of the Lord is mentioned in the Brahmanda Purana in connection with the story of his devoted wife. It is said that Anasuya, the wife of Rishi Atri, prayed before the Lords Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as, my Lord, if you are pleased with me and if you desire me to ask from you some sort of blessings, then I pray that you combine together to become my son. So this was accepted by the Lords, and Dattatreya was the Lord. So he expounded the philosophy of the spirit soul, especially instructed Alarka, Prahlad, Yadu, Hayya, etc. So in this verse, we can see in the 15th verse, we find the words Atma Yesha Brahma Sambhavan. So the 3 sons born of Anasuya are Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma. They were born as partial representatives of these 3 demigods. See, Atma is not in the category of demigods or living entities because he is Vishnu. Therefore, he is described as Vibhinnamsha Bhutana. The super soul Vishnu is the seed-giving father of all living entities, including Brahma and Lord Shiva. Another meaning of the word Atma may be accepted in this way. See, the principle is who is the super soul in every Atma, or one may say the soul of everyone. So they became manifested as Dattatreya because the word Amsha, part and parcel, is used here. See, in 9th canto, 14th chapter, 3rd verse, the 3 sons, right? Dattatreya, Durvasa, and Soma, right? So from Atri's, in the 914.3 translation purport, Rupa says, from Atri's tears of jubilation was born a son named Soma, the moon, who was full of soothing rays. See, Lord Brahma appointed him the director of the Brahmanas. See, according to Vedic description, Soma, the moon god, was born from the mind of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Chandrama Manaso Jataha. But here we find that Soma was born from the tears in the eyes of Atri. So this appears to be contradictory to Vedic information. But actually it is not, Rupa says. For this birth of the moon is understood to have taken place in another millennium. See, when tears appear in the eyes because of jubilation, the tears are soothing. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, from tears of jubilation. Therefore, the moon god is called Amritamayaha, full of soothing rays. See, in the 2nd canto, 7th chapter, 4th verse, the great sage Atri, he prayed for a son, for an offspring. And the Lord, being satisfied with him, promised to incarnate as Atri's son, Dattatreya. Datta, the son of Atri. So by the grace of Supreme Lord, many Yadus, etc., became so purified that they obtained both material and spiritual blessings. See, in the purport of 274, Prabhupada says, transcendental relations between the personality Godhead and the living entities are eternally established in 5 different affectionate humors, which are known as Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So the sage Atri was related with the Lord in the affectionate Vatsalya Bhava. Therefore, as a result of his devotional perfection, he was inclined to have the personality Godhead as his son. So the Lord accepted his prayer and he gave himself as the son of Atri. So such a relation of sonhood between the Lord and his pure devotees can be cited in many instances. And because the Lord is unlimited, he has an unlimited number of father devotees. See? Actually, the Lord is the father of all living entities, right? But out of the transcendental affection and love between the Lord and his devotees, the Lord takes more pleasure in becoming the son of a devotee than in becoming one's father. The father actually serves the son, whereas the son only demands all sorts of services from the father. Therefore, a pure devotee who is always inclined to serve the Lord wants him as the son and not as the father. So the Lord also accepts such service from the devotee. Thus, the devotee becomes more than the Lord. The impersonalists, they desire to become one with the Supreme. But the devotee becomes more than the Lord, surpassing the desire of the greatest monist, right? Parents and other relatives of the Lord achieve all mystic opulences automatically because of their intimate relationship with the Lord. So such opulences include all details of material enjoyment, salvation, mystic powers. Therefore, the devotee of the Lord does not seek them separately, thereby wasting his valuable time in life. The valuable time of one's life must be, therefore, to be fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna. Then other desirable achievements are automatically gained. But even after obtaining such achievements, one should be on guard against the pitfall of offenses at the feet of the devotees. And Prabhupada gives the example of Haihaya, who achieved all such perfection in devotional service, but because of his offense at the feet of a devotee, was killed by Lord Parashurama. So the Lord became the son of the great Atri and became known as Dattatreya. See, in Bhagavad Gita 8.14, Krishna says, Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginah. He says, for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada, the purport says that the special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. You should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita Acharya who told Lord Chaitanya, wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan. My Guru Maharaj says, there are so many deviations in devotional service, so devotee should try to not to engage himself in materialistic association. Grazing the cows is Vedic activity. Krishna doesn't do anything else. It is daily paricharya to graze the cows. Right? You saw that. See, many times it is told the science of Vedic culture is present everywhere. My Guru Maharaj said when he was in Uganda, he heard that the president of Uganda was on his annual leave. And in those days, he was grazing cows. And he insisted that all the presidents should graze the cow once in a year to keep themselves mentally healthy. That is very correct. So we devotees have chosen not to associate with men attracted to money and women. Right? That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So we have already accepted this austerity. Get up early in the morning, Mangalarti, chant 16 rounds, right? And this austerity should be performed very nicely. See, every vibration is stored in the atmosphere, be it material or spiritual. So creating a spiritual vibration is very important. Devotees think how to glorify Lord, where to go and preach, how can I serve Srila Prabhupada? Then these vibrations stay in the atmosphere when you think like this. Thus cleaning the atmosphere and around the devotees and the temple. This is very important. So you have to always think in this manner. So if you are engaged in thinking auspicious things and about Krishna, everything auspicious comes to you. Even if you think inauspicious, forget about vibrations. Just by thinking inauspicious things, even then you're destroyed. See, words come afterwards. Just thinking brings inauspiciousness to you. The talk comes afterwards. Ideas come before that. So as soon as idea is polluted, your life is polluted. That's why Krishna says, Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityashah. Undeviatingly you think of me. One can understand that at middle platform. If just thinking brings those results, then what to speak at spiritual platform? So Krishna here rewards. He is rewarding those who remember him regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Find out. So we should find out ways and means so that we will not forget Krishna. Tasyaham Surava Partha. They can very easily attain Krishna. How? Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. Always engaged in remembering Krishna. So we are all very lucky while reading this that we are thinking about Krishna. Now while reading this, hearing the Katha, we are thinking about Krishna. And our mind is not deviated. It's a pure devotional service. Right now we are Ananya Chitta, undeviated. In our available time, each second has got to be utilized in serving and remembering Krishna. See, rest of the work should be minimized to meet our requirements. That is there. But don't run behind money, money, money. Our faith in Krishna should be not dwindling. As soon as our faith dwindles, we try to take shelter of money, gold, good country, high paid job. Though we know that we are not the body, but we are spirit souls. So this body has to die one day or the other. So in order to strengthen the faith, we have to get rid of inauspicious ideas. If a lady is attached only to her husband, and if a husband is attached only to his wife, then though married, they both are brahmacharis. Atri Rishi had his wife, and her name was Anasuya. Okay. So once demigods Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh went to test Anasuya. And Anasuya was very chaste. So Anasuya came out with some charity in her hands. But then these demigods said that they will accept the charity if she gives without wearing a single cloth. It was a great problem. She cannot deny charity and cannot even give charity now because she was a chaste lady. Chastity has huge power. Even a chaste husband has a lot of power. They can do whatever they want. So Anasuya, what did she do? She converted these three demigods into small babies. She then took out clothes and gave charity to three demigods. The demigods were very much pleased. Then they asked her to ask for any benediction, and she asked them, if you are all really pleased, then please combine together and become my son. That's how Dattatreya was born. Dattatreya is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Similarly, chastity should be there in devotional service also. Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityasha. Constantly attached only to Krishna without deviating our mind. Our bhakti must be undeviated, unflinching. If you are attached to Krishna through knowledge, scriptural evidences, then we will remain unflinchingly devoted to Krishna. See, unless we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we won't be able to convince ourselves also. Then what to speak of convincing others? First, we have to convince ourselves. And arguments which help us in convincing ourselves will help in convincing others also. So this is the secret of studying Vedic literature. And this is the way of Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha. We also saw Krishna conscious messages. There is that Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. He's supreme personality. He's Bhagavan. Bhagavan means full of six opulences. We all know that. And he is 10%, 100%. Krishna is completely 100%, full of all opulences. Then Narayana, Vishnu, he is 96%. Lord Shiva is 84%. Brahma is 78%. See, these are all calculated by the Goswamis. So Krishna is 10% Bhagavan. Mata Parataram Nanya this is. So Krishna is to Swayam Bhagavan. See, one lamp, that is one candle. You ignite another candle from that one. Thousands of candles. All the candles are of the same power. Not that the second candle is less powerful than the first candle. They are the same. See, all Vishnu Tattvas, they are the same personality body. This is explained in Brahma Samhita. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Ananta means unlimited number of expansions. So, the unlimitedness is compared just like there are waves in the river. It is going on perpetually. Nobody can count. So, similarly, how many incarnations and expansions are coming out from the original personality Godhead? Nobody can count. Everything is unlimited. They are all the same, Vishnu Tattva. And they are called Swamshas. Swamsha means personal expansion. And we are living entities. We are also expansions, part and parcel of Krishna. But we are Vibhinamsha. Vibhinamsha, separated part and parcel. We are not as powerful as Vishnu Tattvas. So Vishnu Tattva is all powerful. We are also powerful partially. Just like Brahma. Brahma is also a living entity, but he is so powerful that he can create a universe. But Brahma is created by Vishnu. And Lord Shiva is created by Brahma and all the demigods. So you find everyone is controller to some extent. But at the end, he is controlled by somebody else. So in this way, when you come to Vishnu Tattva, then you will find that Vishnu, he controls everything. But there is nobody controller of Vishnu. Vishnu Tattva or Krishna, for generally known as Vishnu Tattva, right? And we are all Jiva Tattvas. So this is how we have to understand this. See, in this purport, the second purport, I'll just, there we saw about that, right? Vibhinamsa and Swamsha, that's what we described just now. And he also, Prabhupada, he also gives the example of the electric bulbs, right? I spoke about the candles. He said different gradations of power, right? Some electric bulbs have the power of 1000 candles. Some have the power of 500 candles. Some power of 100 candles. Some 50 candles. But he said all electric bulbs have light. But light is present in every bulb, but gradations of light are different. So similarly, he said there are gradations of Brahman. So the Vishnu Swamsha expansions of Supreme Lord in different Vishnu forms are like lamps. See, Lord Shiva is also like a lamp. And the supreme candle power or the 100% light is Krishna. Vishnu Tattva has 94%. Shiva Tattva has 84%. And Lord Brahma has 78%. And the living entities are also like Brahma. But in the conditioned state, their power is still more dim. So there are gradations of Brahman. And no one can deny this fact. Therefore, the words Atmesha Brahma Sambhavan indicate that Dattatreya was directly part and parcel of Vishnu, whereas Durvasa and Soma were parts and parcels of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, respectively. So I stop here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hira Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity for this Srimad Bhagavatam on 4.1.15. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the exam you told about that for Ruchi and some Maharshi, I'm not able to remember. That Egna and we will do sacrifice, whatever we'll sacrifice, that Egna, same Egna, that one will be Prabhuji. So both of them are same.
Yeah. Yes, we have to sacrifice, no, because we have to please Krishna, Vishnu. So yajna means we have to offer everything to Krishna. So even when you have so many yajnas being done, ultimately we say to Vishnu, right? Offer it to the Lord. So he has to be pleased.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
But that Egna and this Egna, same Egna. That
Yeah.
avatar. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that yajna, and then he took the post of Indra. Because that time there was no other pious active people. Because this Brahma, Indra, they are actually posts, these are not personalities. So we also can become Brahma or Indra if you are really powerful to that extent. Okay, Mataji. I hope it's okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Danda Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, like we are all, please correct me if I'm wrong, like we are all descendants of Manu. I'm right, Prabhuji? Like
yes.
all the living entities.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Prabhu? And somewhere I have heard also like Krishna he from his, when he view at the Mahatattva, something like all the living entities are born. And it's like confusing, like how to understand this. Prajapatis were told to generate more people, and little confusion is there. Please help me, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is the primary creation when Krishna wanted to create the whole material universe, right? Material universe. So everything came from the pores of, just by looking at that. That means he created the air, water, fire, all these things got created. That's the primary creation. Then from him came Brahma, right? And from Brahma, he was not born just like a normal human being. He comes the stem of the lotus stem. And he gave the knowledge through the heart to him to create. So he created like the earthly planet and everything. But he needs some people to be there, right? So Krishna gave him the knowledge. It's not that Krishna created everything. Of course, ultimately it comes from him. He says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, everything emanates from me only. That's fine. But he gave the title, post, or he gave a duty of responsibility for Brahma to create this. So Brahma in turn, he gave the responsibilities to like Manu, Swayambhu Manu and others like Prajapati Daksha to create, because we need some people. Otherwise, nothing is there, right? So the progenitors, they were given this opportunity. So they created. So then Swayambhu Manu, Brahma from Burma, no, is one of the sons. So the man, the word comes from Manu. From that is Manusmriti and everything. So based on that, he started creating, and then we saw the genealogy that is coming from the various people. So then Daksha and other kings, so many through them, many progenitors, many. So we also we have this. We are from this parampara. We are this parampara. When we do the when you go to the temple, no, which Gotra, all those things like Kashyap Gotra, so many things. So it's all coming from this parampara. We are always related to that. So it is already done by. So there's no confusion like that. So this is what it is Brahmaji, from through whom from his sons, he asking them to create. That is the progeny, the population. I hope I was.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Very nicely said, Prabhu. Thank you. So, what I understand, Prabhu, say, it's also said we rebelled from Krishna, like we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, so we were put here. So, is it through this channel we have been put here, like to the Manus and other things? Like, do we understand like this, Prabhu?
Yeah, I say basically it'll be like karma. Means of course we don't know the first time we rebelled and came. That's not possible to understand itself. Prabhupada also says in purports. Mainly, see, we might have come, 84 lakh species are there, right? So we might have come to various species of life based on our karma. When annihilation takes place, all the people go back to the belly of the Vishnu, right? And then again, when the creation starts, they come again, but they will start from where they left off. So we don't know which is the first time we started. So based on that, so it is coming from that. So whatever this progeny, even for example, nowadays, any son or daughter is born to a family of a couple. So the semen, that is a power, right? That is actually given by the Lord. He is the seed giving father. And he gives the seed based on the karmas of that person. So he may give seed for maybe in a rich family or a poor family or Brahmana family, Kshatriya family, accordingly. So based on that, he gives this seed. And then the procreation happens. So this is also, it's coming through that only. But this is the process based on the karma and whatever sinful. So you may become a human being, you may become a tree, you may be aquatic. The 84 lakh species, all those degradations, different ways are there. We don't know. So of course it comes through. The human form also is come through that. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank
Whatever
you,
within
Prabhu.
my capacity. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
No, thank you, Prabhu. It's clear. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandapranam. Jai.
And promise.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danut Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandapranam.
Prabhuji, Swayambhu Manu is the son of Brahma.
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Then
Correct.
his wife was daughter of Brahma.
No.
Who is his wife? I know, I forgot her name. But if she's the daughter of Brahma, then Swayambhuva and that daughter will become brother and sister, no?
No. She's not daughter of Brahma. I also am a bit not very much. I will come back to you, Mataji.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. I got a
Cannot be like
silly
that.
doubt, Prabhuji. Silly doubt it is.
No.
Thank
It's
you.
not. I'll get back to you maybe. Okay, I'll check. Second.
Yeah,
Come by
thank you,
next
Prabhuji.
month. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
For
Prabhuji.
this class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Shamadi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Krishna's mercy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danapna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Purnamati. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mati. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada. Anant Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Thank you for. So can I stop here now? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mati. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Prabhu's Matajis, for giving me this opportunity to glorify the Lord and to be of some service. Hare Krishna. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada. And close here.